Today, I'm going to show you how you can create a client's pipeline. This client pipeline is going to be created using a free tool, and it's a tool that I use as well, and you can create either for your buyers or your sellers. So let's get started because this one is going to be very exciting. Okay, so let's get started. So once you log in your Trello account, if you are not a Trello user, I will leave the link in the description box below for you to use. Probably Trello will prompt you to fill in some blanks, walk you through some questions, like for example, create a workspace, like a name for the workspace, and any other details. So first step is you're going to create boards. So first step is click on create your first board, and this one I'm going to call it buyers. Before you type the name of the board, you can choose either a picture in here, which you can update later, or you can choose a color. Again, you can also choose a update later, not really something that we will focus on right now. And workspace, I have 2 workspaces. So right for you, we'll probably have only 1 workspace. And visibility, I like to always click on private, but it really depends on whatever you want to do. But if it's just for your work, you are going to click in private. So after that, you click in create. It's going to open up the board automatically, but I want to create another one for the video. So I click in Trello again, and I'm going to create one in green called sellers. Same workspace, client's pipeline, and I'm going to click on private and create. It's going to open up the board again. So under your workspace, see workspace boards, here's where you will find all of your boards. Keep in mind that the free subscription allows you to create up to 10 boards, which is amazing. So let's focus today on sellers board. And there's a lot of options there's a lot of ways that you can create your client's pipeline. Because my work is slightly different than a realtor, so I do work with realtors. I help with the transactions and marketing and some other tasks. So mine will look slightly different. The first, we are going to create a card called pre-contract. The second one is going to be called post-contract, and the third one is going to be post-closing. You can also create one called, let's say, 1 month post-closing if you would like to follow up with a client, or even you can create one called 365 days, something like that, or 6 months after closing. So you will understand what I'm talking about once you start putting this together. So this one is going to be, if we're talking about sellers, I think it's interesting if we go by the address. So this one is going to be 123 Main Street. This one is going to be listing number 2 is going to be 345 main address, and so forth. So here you're going to add the addresses. So each card will have the name of the address. So let's click on the first one, 123 Main Street. So this is a card that is for 123 Main Street only. So whatever you add in here is going to be for 123 Main Street only. You can create labels. So once you create a label here, you will be able to use in the rest of the cards. So let's say that I already added a label, and which I called reason 1. It may not make sense to you to use labels, but if it does, use them because they are free. In order for you to change what it says in here, you click on the pencil and you can type whatever you want and then click in save. You can change the color as well and then you click save. Let's say, you know, for whatever reason you want this card to have the green label. So as you can see, it will show here, see, it has the green. If that means something to you, go ahead and use it. You can also create checklists. You can do that by hand, like manually. So you can click on add. If you click on checklist, you can type whatever you want. And let's say this is checklist number 1. Click and save. If you want to change the title, let's say that you want to add an item. This is if you want to add manually, because I'm going to show you how you can simply have the checklist uploaded automatically, like in seconds. Okay, so let's say that you want the task number 1, enter. Let's say task number 2, enter, and so forth. Once you complete the task, you can click on the checkbox, and it will give you a green, a green label showing that you have completed all of the tasks. But I don't want to use these manually. So let's keep going, because in a moment I will show you how you can automate this whole thing. You can also use dates. So let's say that you want to receive a reminder tomorrow for this particular listing, 123 Main Street. You can set up a date in here. Let's say tomorrow, and at 8:45. So you want to receive the reminder at 8:45. You can choose, like, if you want to receive 2 days before, 1 day before, or at the time of the due date. You click and save. It's helpful to use the reminders because you will receive an email with a reminder. I find it interesting for me and very helpful to set up the reminders for at the same time, like every day. So every day at the same time, I have reminders. Because I work with realtors, it's different. What I do is I have for realtor number 1, I have my reminders to arrive in my email at 8:30. The realtor number 2, I have the emails arriving at 8:45 and so forth, because it somehow allows the email to have all of those reminders collected within one email. If you put a lot of different times in here, you will receive different emails. I hope I explained that well. You can also attach documents. I personally do not use it because I don't find it useful or helpful to upload documents. If I had, let's say, a team member working with me, helping me with the transactions, maybe that would be helpful, but I use different systems for the attachments, so I do not use this option. And for the cover, you can maybe find this option interesting. Let's say if you would like to add the picture of your listing, you can click in here, upload a cover image. You can upload the picture of the house. Let's say if this is the picture, this is how it will look inside, and here on the left you can see how it looks. You have 2 options. See the difference between this, and if I click in here, you will only see the picture in there. You don't see the checklist or any other labels. So I don't want the picture. I'm going to remove the cover. You can also use, which we will not go through that today, because there's a lot of power-ups that you can use that are free, and these power-ups actually can help you a lot. Let's say something that you can use is the calendar. So calendar power-up, you can certainly add. I'm going to click on add, and I don't know if you noticed, but here it popped the calendar option. So if you click on the calendar, you will be able to see that tomorrow you have a reminder. The very awesome thing about this is that not only I find it extremely helpful receive all of those email reminders once I set up the reminder here inside of the card. I also find it interesting because you can see everything in the calendar within this board for the sellers in this case. So you can also add buttons, and you can also move the board. So these are options that you can also use, but we are not going through those today because I want to make this video short and sweet, and the way that you can apply this as quickly as possible and start using. So I usually like to click on watch. This is for you to receive notifications. And let's say that if you click on show menu, you can also go here and click on watch. You can click on watch from here, which will select for the entire board. I personally like to make sure that every single card has a watch selected, so I do that for every single card. So let's create a board with a checklist. Actually, I keep saying board, but these are lists, and inside of the lists are cards. So the green one is a board, the smaller one is a list, and the smaller one is a card. So let's call this one checklists, and I don't want more, I don't want here. And this one I'm going to call checklist again, just for the video. And inside I'm going to create the entire checklist for every single step: pre-contract, post-contract, and post-closing. It can even include the one month post-closing tasks. So I'm going to click on checklist, and I'm going to add a checklist. I click on checklist. I'm going to call this one pre-contract and click on add. And something interesting is you can go ahead and like click 1, enter, 2, enter. So we don't want to do that. What you want to do is, if you already have a checklist, let's say created in a Word document, I have one in here just as an example. So I'm going to select everything, I'm going to copy, and I'm going to click on add an item and paste. And once you click add, look at the magic. It's amazing, isn't it? So I'm going to also include the post-contract, and click on add. And just for the video, this is just an example. I'm going to add the exact same tasks, but it's going to be different for you, of course. And I'm going to add another one, post-closing. And again, scroll down, click on add. I'm going to, so this is the checklist which basically will work as a template. So let's go to, click in here, and let's go to automations. Click on automations, and you're going to click on rules. So I already have some automations created, and you are not going to use these, of course, but yours probably will be empty. But to start, you click on create rule. From here, what you're going to do is add trigger when a card is added to the list pre-contract, plus click on checklists. You're going to add the checklist name, which is from the card checklist. So when a card is added to the list, you are going to add the pre-contract checklist from the card checklist to the card. You can also go back and click on add. You can also add a green label Click and save. Close it. So I'm going to add a title here, which is going to be an address. Enter. Voila. So you click in there. What happened was you didn't need to go and select the option for the labels, and you didn't need to add the checklist. So for this specific example, we only added the very first step of the checklist because that was the only thing that we created. But you can go back and continue adding the options for the rest of the checklist. Okay, so from here, so this was the very first automation that you can create, and I personally use it. You can also set to have a due date created automatically or added automatically. I'm going to show you how to do that. So you go to the rule that you had created, you click on the pencil, and we are going to click on dates. Click on now, tomorrow at 10:45 is fine. And once you are done with setting that up, click on the plus button and you click in save. Close it. Let's create another one. Now you are going to see something different in here. Let's add another address. Let's say you click on add card. You wait a second and watch what's going to do. See, it added a date in here. So compared to the previous one, so this has one more task added. So from here you can add, whatever description in here, details, could be seller, email address or phone number, things that are important to you. And you can go ahead, if this doesn't work anymore, you can go ahead and change it. If it has been completed and you don't need this anymore, or you don't need to create a reminder for later, then you can click on completed, and it has been completed. So the cool stuff about this is, let's say 123 Main Street got an offer, it has been accepted. Now what we're going to do is you are going to drag and drop to post contract. Once this 245 Main Street, again, same idea, has been is already under deposit, meaning you got an offer, you can drag and drop. Let's say that 123 Main Street now is closed, and you move to closing. And while you are moving, you are also going to work on the checklist that will be inside. You're going to be checking off the tasks from the checklists. Okay, so this way you know the status of each file. Okay, so this is what I want to show you today. I hope you find this extremely helpful. And if you would like to know more about this, like more features, you are welcome to add a question in the description, in the comments below. I will be happy to create more videos around Trello. I love Trello. I recommend Trello. And so that's it. And that's it for now. Trello has a lot more options to use. This was just the basic that you can start with to help you with the client pipeline all the way from the beginning and even after closing. I hope you find this video very helpful. If you have any questions, curiosities, leave me a comment below, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.